remember my grandmother telling me that when my grandfather passed away, he told her, please, put your head cover on because Umar ibn al-Khattab is coming to visit me. And, my father-in-law told me that when his mother was at the time of death, she asked everybody around her to, get ready because she is being visited by people that are all dressed in white. And many other people tell us stories about those who are being visited, but we don't see them. And you witness big smiles all of a sudden on the faces of those people who are about to die. Big smiles, and you don't understand. And then minutes after that, or sometimes days after that, because they are being visited by many. And it's a urs. It's a celebration of those angels, because the time for the good believers is a time of celebration. And that is why those angels visit, to make that mystery a pleasant celebration. They say, don't worry, it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be a very pleasant experience for you. Don't you worry, now is the time. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that when the angels start to come, even before the soul departs, when the angels started to come and they fill that place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lifts that veil. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ إِذْ يَتَلَقَّى الْمُتَلَقِّيَانِ عَنِ الْيَمِينِ وَعَنِ الشِّمَالِ قَعِيدٌ ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد وجاءت سكرة الموت بالحق ذلك ما كنت منه تحيد ونفخ في الصور ذلك يوم الوعيد وجاءت كل نفس معها سائق وشهيد لقد كنت في غفلة من هذا فكشفنا عنك غطاءك فبصرك اليوم حديد. That, فكشفنا عنك غطاءك goes before ونفخ في الصور, from the time وجاءت سكرة الموت بالحق. That's what it means. فكشفنا عنك غطاءك. It doesn't mean after ونفخ في الصور. It means وجاءت سكرة الموت بالحق. From the time the throes of death start to be experienced, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lifts those veils. فبصر, even though the person has been blind, or was born blind, or the person is unable to see things before, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, that was in al-hayat al-dunya. Now you are on your way to the third phase of life with new laws, new realities. It's totally, forget now, you are finished with your exam. Now it's a new life, new reality. So, فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غِطَاءَكَ. In al-hayat al-dunya, you were unable to hear what dogs used to hear, what animals used to hear. We think that we are the most powerful. You know that there are animals who hear things because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them abilities to show us. You think that you are the most powerful? There are dogs who know that there will be an earthquake before it happens. You know that sometimes when dogs start to bark like crazy, people know that an earthquake or something is about to happen. We know that bees can see things much more than we can. They see things in the dark. We know that there are the moth, referred to as the royal butterflies, that migrate from the Maritimes all the way to Mexico day and night. Some people say, well, they have markers on the way. No, they don't. They know exactly where they are going. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created things in this dunya for us to see that you really think that your 5 senses can give you all the experiences you want. Look at things that are insects, that are bugs, that are animals, that can tell you that there are realities that you will never be able to experience. So where are you going? فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ? Where are you taking yourselves? You think that you have owned the universe by your brains, by your senses, by your abilities. Even a bug can experience something that you will never be able to experience. And that is why فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غِطَاءَكَ. Now is the time when you will be able to see those angels. You will be able to see how after they bring you down into the grave, what Rasulullah ﷺ tells us, that no, it is not a hole in the ground with soil on top of you, because that is the end of the physical experience of the second phase of life and the beginning of the third phase of life, whereby Prophet Muhammad ﷺ tells us that a gateway will be open and your grave will have the kind of space that your soul and your body, if your ismith will be in the grave, it will experience openness that the physical reality of this dunya can never tell you. I'm standing here, I cannot just walk and expect to continue at the same level. I will fall. But in the grave, it's a new reality. It's a new reality, as we will start to talk, that there will be 2 angels who will come and they will seat us and they will ask us, what do you mean seat us? They just put kind of thick dirt on top of us and you claim that they will seat us. Talk about seating in the new reality. Seating now for you, Wasim, is to sit at a chair with your back straight and you are sitting with your thighs and your legs. This is seating for you. But seating in the grave is a different reality altogether. And that is why from now on, when you hear certain ahadith or ayat, we should understand them with the perspective of the third phase of life, with that reality, not with the reality that we are familiar with, even though I mentioned the examples of the senses that we cannot possess ourselves. Now, the angels are there and they are talking, they are reading Quran with the person that is about to have his soul or her soul captured or taken away. And it could be a celebration or it could be a condemnation. It could be a beautiful experience or it could be the beginning of the punishment that will take different dimensions. Many people wonder why all those things are happening to them in this dunya. If you really think that this dunya is the end, yes, you may ask that question. Why are these things happening to me? Why me? Why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, had 13 years of persecution and people throwing stones at him and calling him all sorts of things. Imagine if a leader of the world today will be dealt with like that. How would he feel? Why me? Why 7 of my children died? Why my wife who was supporting me in my home and my uncle who was supporting me outside die within 3 months of each other? Why, when I now am 60 years old, having waited for a son, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me Ibrahim, he would die when he was 16 months of age? Why? Why did he say, إِنَّ الْعَيْنَ لَتَدْمَعْ وَإِنَّ الْقَلْبَ لَيَحْزَنْ وَإِنَّ عَلَى فِرَاقِكَ يَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ لَمَحْزُنُونَ وَلَا نَقُولُ إِلَّا مَا يُرْضِي اللَّهِ وَإِنَّ عَلَى فِرَاقِكَ يَا إِبْرَاهِيمُ لَمَحْزُنُونَ? Why did he say that indeed the eye will weep and the heart will feel the sorrow and we will never say anything but that will please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And indeed, we are saddened for your departure, O Ibrahim. That was his utterance when he was 60 years old. Why would Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he was 96 years of age, being asked to sacrifice his son that he waited for 83 years, and he was 13 years of age, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, sacrifice him. يا بني إني أرى في المنام أني أذبحك فانظر ماذا ترى. Oh my dear son, I am seeing in my dream, and the prophets used to know that the dreams are wahi, revelation to them, that I'm seeing that I am slaughtering you. How would you respond to that? Why would these things happen? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make everything حتى الشوكة يشاكها المؤمن ترفع عنه من الخطايا. That even if you are stung by a thorn, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make that to establish a balance between the bad deeds or the bad answer on your test paper. You know, it will come to say, no, this is a mistake. I will give you another chance. Take it back and correct it. I will give you a hint. And that hint is to read 20 more pages. But the 20 more pages will make me feel more tired. But it's worth it because I will have 100 on my test paper. So all the things that happen to us. Now when the time comes, as the hadith of Rasulullah ﷺ says, that the more the throes of death, the more our sins will be diluted and eliminated. But if the kind of mistakes we made are such that not even the throes of death will dilute, what is coming after death is the thing we should worry about. Because that is the start of the punishment. As we will talk later about Azab al-Qabr, the punishment in the grave, before the punishment in the hereafter. Why punishment? Not because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is interested in imposing on us things that He doesn't love us. No, don't ever believe that. Allah loves even those who deny His existence. But He wants them to go through the kind of severe punishment with the hope that they will be able to have their sins removed from them. But those who have chosen to accumulate so much sin that it will be impossible to remove them, they will be dwelling for eternity in the hellfire. And these are realities we should prepare for. We should prepare. You know, when you do your salat, when you give your zakat, when you tell the truth, when you really, unite with others, all of these things are preparing us for eternity. Because the time of the exam is very short. You write your exam for 3 hours. You write an exam for a whole day. You do that because you want to go into medicine, and after medicine you will graduate so that you will live the kind of life that you were hoping for. But there is a price that you have to pay for. Today we are going to end in a few minutes because there is something very important that I will take a couple of minutes to introduce it to you. So I will try to wrap up now, and we will continue next week inshallah about death and what happens at the time of death. But I would like to just say that the company of the angels is such that they prepare for that ultimate visit by the angel of death. His name is Azrael. And there is a very difficult question that has been asked by scholars, and we don't have a specific answer other than what we read in Al-Quran Al-Kareem. People ask the question, Does Azrael capture the souls of every one of us who dies? What if thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions die at the same time? How can he capture all those souls at the same time? People ask that question, and then the scholars engaged in the kind of discourse that is left for the scholars. But we have certain observations, and I'd like to share with you, so those who would like to have extra reference to really enjoy this topic, I'd like to tell you my sources that I really have used for this part of the series. This book is called Al-Hayat Al-Barzakhiyya Min Al-Maut Ila Al-Ba'th, Muhammad Abdul-Zahir Khalifa, which is called The Life of the Ismith, the life of Al-Barzakh, from the time of death until resurrection. It's an excellent book that talks about this. There are two small books by Muhammad Mitwalli al-Sha'rawi, rahimahullah. One is called Nihayat al-Alam, the end of the world, and one is called Yawm al-Qiyamah, the day of resurrection. And then there is the book that I always use. It's called Ar-Ruh. It is the book by Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyyah. And then there is the very valuable book by Dr. Muhammad Saeed Ramadan al-Buti, Kubra al-Yaqiniyat al-Kawniyah. And then there is the book At-Tadhkirah fi Ahwal al-Maut wa Umur al-Akhirah. And this is by Abi Bakr al-Ansari. Now, these are the books that talked about this issue, and the arguments that I really found most convincing are the ones that were mentioned by Sheikh Al-Buti. They were also shared by Muhammad Abdul-Zahir Khalifa, and Sheikh Mitwalli al-Sha'rawi gave a philosophical response to the question. Now, what the Sheikh Al-Buti said, that Azrael is the ultimate angel that is able to capture the souls irrespective of time and space. We talked about that before many times, that when we will leave through the gateway of death to the second reality, there'll be no time anymore, there'll be no space anymore, as I just actually hinted to, that the grave can be Rawda min Riyad al-Jannah, it will open up, or Hufra min Hufar al-Nar, or a pit out of those of the hellfire. And that means that space and time will not exist as we know them. Therefore, Azrael operates outside the boundaries of time and space. So when we talk about thousands of people dying at the same time, it matters to us, but it doesn't matter to him. It does not matter to him. You know, you think, you know, for you, you can go to your boss and say, you expect me to do all of this in half an hour? That could be logical. You may not be able to. You only have two hands and one brain and two eyes, and that's all you can do. But Azrael, we are not talking about two hands and one brain and things. Azrael, one of four archangels. Four, that these are the heads of the angels. These are Jibril, Mikael, Israfil, and Azrael. These are the four angels. Now, Jibreel is the angel that brings revelation. Israfil is the one who has only one thing to do, and that is he is holding that instrument, as-sur, فَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ فَصُعِقَ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. That Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is telling us in his hadith that he is already holding it and ready to deliver when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give that order. And then Mikael, who is actually the one that distributes the rain and the livelihood and all of the things that provide life for us as a species and for the animals and the other things. And then there is Israel, the one who captures the souls. But Al-Buti said that Israel has other angels who are working with him. How? We don't know, because if we say how, we go back to the limitation of time and space. Do you understand? If we say that he has, even we can't say helpers. But why did Al-Buti say that? Why did Abdul Zahir Khalifa say that? And Sheikh Al-Sha'rawi said something similar to that. Now Ibn Al-Qayyim Al-Jawziyah talked about Israel being the ultimate. But then look at these things, that the ayat that were mentioned. قُلْ يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ مَلَكُ الْمَوْتِ الَّذِي وُكِّلَ بِكُمْ ثُمَّ إِلَى رَبِّكُمْ تُرْجَعُونَ. Say that you will be captured, or your souls will be captured by the angel of death who is assigned for you. Some scholars said, well then, each one of us has an angel of death that is the same as an angel will bring our souls to the body. There is an angel that will take the soul. الَّذِي وُكِّلَ بِكُمْ. Others said that though, وُكِّلَ doesn't mean it could be Azrael. But then there is another ayah from Surah Al-An'am. حتى إذا جاء أحدكم الموت توفته رسلنا وهم لا يفرطون. When the time of death comes, our messengers will capture our messenger, رسلنا, in the plural sense. So there are many that could be working with Azrael being the ultimate. How does it work? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows.